Hey, it's Leo. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the Stock Aitken and Waterman book tag. This is a tag that was originally created by Jennifer Loves Books. She tagged me back in August and I encourage you to check out her video. With each video on my channel, I like to lift up a different nonprofit that's doing good in the world. I'll make a donation and I encourage you to like, share, follow, or donate as you are inspired. Today I'm going to be lifting up Brown Hope, which is a nonprofit centered here in Portland, Oregon. It acknowledges the extremely racist history of Oregon. I'll read this here for you. While it's centered here in Oregon, and I know a lot of you are located around the world, I would encourage you to be aware of the racist history of the places that you're living, because colonizers kind of are everywhere, and we should know what's been done. So Brown Hope was born on March 16th, 2018. They write, Black, Brown, and Indigenous communities have survived centuries of racial trauma, which has passed emotional, psychological, and material injuries from generation to generation. The history of racism in Oregon is long and troubling. Originally founded to be a whites-only utopia, some of the most devastating violations of humanity included state exclusion laws, tribal genocide and termination acts, internment, and mass displacement. We are still seeing the ripples of how Oregon's racist past impacts our communities to this day. Brown Hope embodies the philosophy of trauma-informed activism, launching initiatives that inspire hope, collective healing, and the grassroots momentum needed to dismantle systems that perpetuate harm against our communities. Brown Hope's story changed dramatically in 2020. Fueled by George Floyd's murder, Portlanders led more than 100 days of direct action in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. Brown Hope launched the Black Resilience Fund on June 1st, 2020, and in 28 days, more than 11,000 Portlanders came together to invest over $1 million in tangible relief for Black Portlanders grappling with the dual storms of racism and a global pandemic. Brown Hope has embraced this window of opportunity for racial justice. We are committed to researching, implementing, and involving new, paradigm-challenging strategies that help inspire a national movement on racial healing and hope. Together, we can reimagine what is possible. So again, I'll make a donation to Brown Hope, and I encourage you to check them out. All right, let's get to the questions. Each question has a song by a different artist and a prompt for the books that fit for you in that. Song 1. You'll Never Stop Me From Loving You by Sonia. And this prompt is for an author whose books you will automatically read, even though some of their books haven't lived up to your expectations. So this is an author for whom I've only read a couple of books, but I definitely want to read more. The last book I read by them, I just didn't love. And this is James Baldwin, and I loved The Fire Next Time, and then I read Giovanni's Room and didn't love it. I'll talk about that in my December wrap-up. But I'm going to automatically read all of James Baldwin because I think that he has some really important and powerful things to say. And it's all right if I didn't get on with Giovanni's Room. You'll never stop me from loving you. All right. Song 2. You Spin Me Round by Dead or Alive. This is a book with so many twists and turns that you get dizzy. For this prompt, I'm going to say Sleep Tight, Book 3 in the DCI Tom Douglas series by Rachel Abbott. This was recommended by Mason in the Dark. I'll link his video down below, and it was a great thriller with a lot of twists and turns, so I recommend it to you. Song 3, Too Many Broken Hearts by Jason Donovan, and this is a book that broke your heart. And for that one, I'm going to say Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi. Just the hardships that each generation went through was pretty devastating and hard to read, especially knowing that it's rooted in history. Book 4, Love in the First Degree by Bananarama. Your favorite fictional couple. I really struggled with this one, and I don't know why. I read a few romances this year and I enjoyed them, but none of them, like the couple, became my favorite. So what I wound up doing was doing a queer shipping, and I'm gonna say Royce Melbourne and Hadrian Blackwater from Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan. I originally picked that book up because I was looking for buddy chemistry, and I think they do that well. So that's my answer for this one. Song 5, I Should Be So Lucky by Kylie Minogue, a book by an Irish author. So for this one, I'm going to say Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett. And this one, though, I'm also queer shipping Dee and Gogo, and in fact recently saw a post by Patrick Stewart that I feel like supports my queer vision of the two characters from Waiting for Godot. In terms of Irish authors, I do want to read Tana French, Sally Rooney, Colm Toibin, and Oscar Wilde, and in fact I do have checked out De Profundis by Oscar Wilde, which maybe I will get finished before the end of the year, but we'll see. Song 6, Say I'm Your Number One by Princess. This is my favorite prize-winning book. This year I read The Widows of Malabar Hill by Sujata Massey, and that was the winner of the Agatha Award, the Macavity Award, and the Lufty Award for Best Historical Mystery, and the winner of the Mary Higgins Clark Award, and the winner and top pick of the 2019 American Library Association Reading for Mystery. So I think it's pretty safe to say that a few people agreed with me that this is a pretty great book, and so I recommend it to you, The Widows of Malabar Hill. Song 7, The Harder I Try by Brother Beyond, an author you just can't get into. So I've only read, I DNF'd one book by this author. I'm not going to say that I won't read anything else by her, but that was Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid, and I think I DNF'd it maybe a third of the way through. But have you read it? What'd you think of it? Song 8, Happening All Over Again by Lonnie Gordon, my favorite series or sequel. So I will say, I just mentioned this in the last video, but I'll say the Mrs. Polyphex series by Dorothy Gilman, but I am looking for a good series to get into. I was enjoying the Lockwood & Co. series, but then book 3 got a little bit too, I had feelings that I expressed in a different video on that one. I haven't read enough of the Agatha Christie, even though I've watched them, but I haven't read them enough to say that they're one of my favorite series. Down here I have the Ellis Peters series, which I had read as a teenager, but I haven't read them in so long that I don't know that they would qualify as a favorite. What would your answer be for that one? Or maybe which series should I dive into in 2022? Song 9, Toy Boy, your favorite poet or poem. So I have 2 runners up for this. The first is Funeral Blues by W.H. Auden, which I have in this great little book that my friend Nicole gave me for my birthday years and years ago. The next runner-up is the poetry in Assata Shakur's autobiography, including this little bit that you might recognize. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains, which I think is really powerful. So a little background before I give you the answer to prompt 9. For a few years, I was a pastor of a little queer church here in Portland called The Flame, and one of my favorite things that we would do when we would gather together is that we would do a lot of reading of other sources. So if we had a bit from the Bible, I would also find a poem or other selection from an author of color or a queer author. So I did this many times over the 4 years that we gathered together and ran across some really cool readings and poems that I wouldn't have had a chance to explore otherwise. Now I can actually dive deeper into those authors by actually having the time to read their full works, but it was a great way for me to get exposed to different folks. So this is the poem that I would like to share with you today. Hold fast, slip-fingered though your grasp has been, against moments run like rain, through futile clenched hands. Hold fast, the brightness is coming. Stand firm, toes curled against a frozen earth, braced against soil, determined in its lack of welcome. Stand firm, the warmth is coming. Be still, the cracking of dawn like a broken shell is spilling gold into the purple darkness. Be still, the sky is moving. Listen, humming vibrations gather speed, lifting flattened arches and resting heels. Listen, the earth is moving. Be ready, poised and present, taut and sharp-eyed, waiting with ears turned and open-cupped hands. Be ready, day is coming. Go forward, even against wind without source. Look toward the cliffs where birds with restless wings build nests. You have not been brought into this tundra winter without reason and purpose. Go forward. Dawn is coming. That is Advent by Pastor Carla Christopher Wilson. Song 10, Together Forever by Rick Astley, the book that has been on your TBR the longest. So for me, that is The Power of Song, Nonviolent National Culture in the Baltic Singing Revolution by Guntis Smitjens. That just sounds like an amazing book, nonfiction. I truly believe that music and song are powerful, particularly in social movements, and so that book sounds really interesting. But I think it might be out of print or hard to find, but it's the oldest one on my TBR, and one of these days I will find and read it. Okay, the bonus track is Especially for You by Kylie and Jason. And so this is to recommend to me a book that you think I will love. So I'm going to recommend to Jennifer a book that I think she will love since she tagged me in this video. And that is A Master of Gin by P. Djeli Clark. And Jennifer, if you haven't read this, I definitely think you should check it out. I tried to look at Storygraph to see if you had read it, and I don't think you have yet. But instead of the synopsis, I'm going to read one of the blurbs on the back from Django Wexler. I love the intricate alt history world of A Master of Gin, with its hints at the changed destinies of nations and ordinary people alike after the cataclysmic return of magic to the world. An engaging mystery with a wonderful mix of the fantastic and the mundane. Chain-smoking crocodile gods, stuffy married librarians, and a brilliant heroine with a dashing bowler. So for your bonus track, you get A Master of Gin by P. Djeli Clark. Well, that's it. That's all the questions. So now it's time for me to tag some folks. I'm going to tag Mason in the Dark, Camilla at Hasty eBooks, Jessica at Lady Lovestead Reads, and Michelle Lexi. I'd love to see your answers to these prompts. And also for those of you who haven't checked out their channels yet, I definitely think you should give them a look and listen, and check out Jennifer Loves Books channel as well. Also, if you'd like to do this tag and you haven't been tagged, consider yourself tagged. I think this is a really fun one, and I'd love to see what you come up with. All right, I better end there. I've got some more reading to finish up before the end of 2021, and you'll hear all about it in my next wrap-up. But until next time, Happy New Year and happy reading.